think is it just minute? One of the minutes is special?
How are you? I get this. Next.
Sorry, they set it up a little differently today.
Okay.
It doesn't say draft on it.
There's enough stuff around here. Hello here. How you doing, sir?
Right. How are you?
You over here next to me today. Here we go.
I know that's his preferred spot. I try when
And we have somebody new, is that correct?
Yes. I believe his name is Paul, but he hasn't replied.
By the council?
So I know he's been elected by Mayor Wu. I don't know if he's been, I don't know if he's been approved. I know he hasn't done any of Shanita's stuff so far.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Doug is out. Last week was his last week. I know he hasn't done any of Shanita's stuff yet. I sent him an email, like personally, and he hasn't replied to any of that stuff. I'll reach back out. But as far as I know, he isn't coming to today's.
One of these is January's, is that correct?
One of them is January's with the amendments that, Tom asked for, yes.
Do we need to vote on it again, or can I just sign it?
If Tom approved, Tom was the only one who, not to call you out, Tom was the only one who had issues with them. So he approves of the.
Call Tom out.
Gonna throw Tom under the bus.
If he approves of them, then they're okay. If he still says no, then no.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, man.
A hard time. He needs it.
No, it's a plate. It's a steel plate that fits in the bag. It's supposed to put it on your boat so that the magnet's on there,
Cool.
but it doesn't work very well.
Figured it would be something like that.
Yeah. It's more trouble than it costs. I didn't get the answer. Am I supposed to sign it?
No, I think you're supposed to say
No,
yes.
no.
Or no.
These would be the two that actually get signatures. Those are the two that don't get draft on.
That was great.
What you would ask, yeah, they just need to be approved during the meeting. What you would ask is that this kind of you may want to really follow this during the video. Here's the link to the actual video and things will be posted. You can follow it. And then you ask that there be more detail for the K-96 proposal. So I went in and I cleaned those up and I added even more detail to what was specifically being.
So we still gotta vote on them?
So
Or
we
just
have to
continue it?
technically vote if they are
Okay.
with the amendments added, and then we have to vote on the ones from last time.
So we'll do two separate motions then for the month minutes. One for January and one for April.
Yeah, and then these would be the ones we would officially sign. The continuance would have draft,
Thank you.
assuming they pass.
You see one more?
And then I do know Mr. Kent did send me an email. I do not know if he will be here live or in person or all. He was having, family issues once again, so I am unaware if he will be here.
Your name just came up, so you just left room.
Shit. That's not good. What'd I do?
Well, the last one you did.
Uh-oh. Hey, y'all only got me till December. I'm out. You guys only have me till December and then I'm out.
What's that?
Yeah, remember Johnson?
But when does the new council take
So
over?
that's quite fresh, or at
So you
least,
until January, December.
I just, yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
or if you would like, I can get you even fresher.
No, you nailed it. Thank you.
You're not.
It's so silly. I didn't even see it right there.
It's okay. It does blend in quite well. Maybe I should add some food coloring to it next time.
Cycle is Johnson?
No, but I mean, you know, District Three's up.
Is it really? Realize that. Who's all up this year? Hoheisel, Johnson, 1-3.
There you go, Reggie.
Hi, Reggie. I'm Brandon. Brandon Paulson. Very good to meet you.
How are you? Good.
Is Maggie facing me like?
Yeah, she's already applied.
No, is she facing,
As far as I know, nobody's signed up.
The whole high school's not running, so you're running?
Have a job, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a job. That's just a part-time job, you
Got the
know?
most experience.
Yeah. You got this, Phil. I don't live in the district, though. You know, you know who's gonna run in District 3? Crazy.
So Kaiser not running again?
You got till June, right?
He's playing poorly when I asked him back in April.
Come on, dude. Has he been vice mayor yet? You gotta at least be vice mayor. Well, I guess we can give it a couple minutes before we.
This is like the fourth quorum and the 6 or 7 are worth having a part of.
I'll give kind of an update on it. So, yeah.
We can save it. We can save it. Yeah, we can save it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Tim.
Where are you going to July?
And I think
Whoa, how long's that flight?
that's just straight down,
You go through like Houston or Dallas?
either Houston or Miami, I forget.
How long are you there for?
Days.
Do you speak Spanish?
Oh,
you got a guy.
I'm learning. Yeah, I won't be sure.
Yeah, but you have photographs of those. There
I'm doing the Duolingo
you go.
free version, so it's,
If you just listen to Spanish reads or like a Spanish rock, because they actually
Oh.
say the words.
yeah.
Don't listen to like reggaeton or anything like that. That's not real.
Start going to Madagascar. Well,
That
on
one,
a Monday, on the Sunday. That's a 17-day, it's gonna be a hardcore hiking.
how much do you pack there? Or do you pick up a lot of supplies there?
We only need to pack 3 days at a time,
Okay,
so it can be, larger one and then just a day pack kind of.
sure.
And it's just 7 guys, so it's smelly, it's not gonna matter.
That's good. Hey, how long do we give folks before we?
I was gonna ask you that. I mean, it's up to you, ultimately.
3:03.
I don't think we have any actionable business.
Yeah, I don't think you're doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, just the budget presentation. I don't think there's any action on it, right? So go through statements and stuff, and if somebody else shows up, we can. Again, I don't think this is a.
One thing that needs voting is the minutes from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, apologies, yeah. Then my only other announcement was just our board election, kind of the leadership elections are next month. So, but that's open to tell more people, but that's okay. Want to go that over fall.
You guys want to run again? I think we are the leadership, right?
Yeah.
One more. Well, then I guess, let's give it a minute, and then if nobody shows up, we'll just run it. The information, what you say was, it's like, you just received
Each one of
information.
them reporting.
Yeah, everything other than minutes, yeah, is reporting today, and then we can just check somebody. And yeah, just note their attendance if somebody does show up at any point.
It's 3:05, so we are gonna call this non-quorum Board of Park Commissioners meeting to order. It looks like we do have a public comment. Harold, would you like to speak, sir?
Harold Schleckwig, ICT Trees. I just wanted to come by and say a very big thank you to the Park and Recreation Department, and especially the Forestry Division. They did an outstanding job. We were able to distribute 67 free trees. We're planning to do this again next fall. There were some glitches, but we overcame them. And of course, all this depends on our funding continuing, but we are vigorously and out there looking for grant support for a whole range of activities. Also, in the fall, we are planning to have another tree walk, and we will be consulting with the Park and Rec Department to find out which park they think would be appropriate for us to attract some people to and talk about trees. So again, thanks to John Bacon, thanks to the Park and Recreation Department, thanks to your director.
Thank you. Okay, Brandon, you're up, sir.
All right.
All right, good afternoon. So I just got, before we get into the April numbers, I just have one other thing we need to talk about, and that is the finance department is needing us to review and file the 2026 through 2030 planned budgets for the ice rink. Now, especially towards the out years, those are subject to change, and to evolve with the times. So really what's, the big takeaway from this one is that 2025 is the same budget that you guys approved, back in February. And then the 26 to 30, the big takeaway is that it looks like they are anticipating about a $54,000 deficit in 2026, but they think that they are going to be hitting profitability by 2027, and then every year after that.
What's the deficit there? Just not enough cash flow, or what is it?
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Just because of how things are financially, probably?
Yes, and it's based on the last several years of their,
Is the increase in attendance or in fees? I mean, you've got it increasing every year, both additions and league play.
right. I think it's a combination of both. But I think they're mostly looking for increased attendance. Especially as they look at, building on the success of what we had in the figure skating.
What's become of the upstairs?
So we're still working with them on it. They have a potential tenant that may be using the space. It's going to require some capital improvement to do that. And that's one of the items that we have pending as a potential CIP project, contingent upon when that agreement is in place with the vendor. So once that happens, we'll evaluate to make that investment for it so that can start having return on it immediately once we make those improvements.
A little bit of rent will help in a little bit of ways, and basically.
I'm sorry,
A
didn't
little
hear.
bit of rent will help in a little bit of ways.
It will. So it would also, part of that as well, there's a concession area that's on site. We anticipate the increased traffic will help with those as well.
We want to talk about tomorrow.
We can.
The other big news of the ice rink is that tomorrow we'll be going to city council. The owner of rink management is retiring, and so there is basically a management shift, an ownership shift with the management company of ice rink. Reggie's been really involved with the vetting, and we've been looking at the new company, and we're really encouraged with a lot of the synergies that they're going to be able to bring. And I think it's just going to be good news for the operations. All of the local people won't change. They have stated they weren't going to be changing any of the local staffing. It's just basically it's a management shift, but they have a lot of capabilities and a lot of other properties that they manage. And so they look really good, especially in the financial operations.
And one of the things that was with that as well, sports facilities company is the organization that is looking to transition over to. And they are a national company that has facilities throughout the U.S. All of the references that we reached out to gave really favorable references as far as them meeting their financial goals, the relationship that they had there, the customer service. So we think this is an opportunity to transition to actually get better. So they are part of the contract that we have with the existing vendor. They did have a clause in there that said that they could transition if we deem it reasonable to be able to continue the operations there. From what we've gathered from all of the due diligence that we did, we think it will be a good transition. So we did want to bring it to the board's attention today. That will be something going to council for them to review and give final approval on, and there will be representatives from the organization that will be available to answer any questions as well.
That's what I had with the ice.
No, can't really do much but receive it.
Right. Thank you for receiving.
Thanks.
So let's talk April. So as far as the revenues go, we're looking good, looking really strong. I'd like to see recreation be a little more closer to the percentage of budget up through April than the 20%. If all months were equal, which they're not, but if they were equal, then we'd be looking more like 33%. But again, our big money makers don't really come online until here in a couple of weeks when we start putting in swimming pools and summer camps. But it's also as far as expenses go, again, we're under that 33%. So we're looking pretty strong. As far as the expenditures go up through April, nothing really out of the ordinary there. As far as cost recoveries go, rec centers are doing better than how we finished 2024. I did break out, we used to have specialty parks on there, and I decided that really, I think that's the things that we really would like to know is what's going on in Watson and what's happening in Riverside. So I broke those out this time around, showing about 27% cost recovery at Watson Park and 89% cost recovery with tennis. And again, those two programs are seasonally affected. They just don't do a lot of activity during the winter months, so, but they are starting to pick back up. And in fact, I think April's numbers in Riverside Park was at the tennis center was really closer to 98% cost recovery for the month of April. Athletics are also looking good with flag football and softball registrations, things like that. And I'll let Jesse go into more of the details as we talk about golf, but their numbers are all looking really strong. Expenditures are looking good. They're also under that 33% to budget, and they ended the month of March with 836,000 in the account. And we did see those cost recovery numbers go up. Some of them were under 100% last month. And they all, just because we had the really slow, really snowy winter, but they're looking strong. And with that, do you have any questions?
Thank you for breaking up specialty farms.
Welcome, guys.
All right, Katie?
Gotcha. Sorry.
Here is my social media update. These are the current follower counts on each of our social pages. As usual, about half of them went up again over the past month, with Kansas Wildlife Exhibit, as always, being the winner, about 4% growth, and then the other pages were around 1% growth last month. The Wichita Park and Recreation Facebook page, the top post from April was about testing the splash pad water and kind of teasing that they were officially going to open at the end of May, but that we might open them early. That reach was 24,000 just for that post, 57 shares, 116 click-throughs. And overall, the page was a little bit down in its reach, but I'm expecting with the summer coming up, that's going to really take off here soon, especially since we've been teasing the splash pad opening even more. So that's coming up really soon here. The O.J. Watson Park page, not as many posts about Watson itself, but they do a really good job of sharing other events throughout the park system. So the top post from last month was about playing across the park, which is a symphony partner event that we have, and that post reached about 600 people. The Navigator Park page, again, it was sharing the Open Streets event. Those two pages, when they don't have as many events going on within those parks, they share about the other events throughout the city. And that one also reached about 4,000 people. Open Streets itself, the top post from last month was an announcement about the 3 Open Streets events that are going on this year. And that post reached 6,500 people. 70 interactions and 32 shares, and the page itself was up 500% from the previous month because we had those events just recently. And then finally, the Golf Wichita page was up 71% from the previous month for a total of about 108,000 people reached. The top post was for the Golf Wichita Junior Tour. That reached 41,000 people just with that one post alone, 128 interactions. And I think the most amazing part of that was that they had over 1,000 click-throughs on the link to sign up and get more information about the Junior Tour. So way to go, Golf Wichita. And that's all I've got. I'll stand for any questions you might have.
Okay.
I'm behind you. No, you're fine. I saw you do it for Kate, so I didn't want to mess anything up.
So I gave each of you a copy of the 3 activity guides that our department puts out quarterly for Evolve and annually for Golf Wichita and Nature Center. So that's what you've got in front of you. They're great visuals to look through, gives you a lot of information, and hopefully it will keep you excited during this presentation. So using both print and digital activity guides for Park and Rec, including Golf Wichita and GPNC, provides several strategic benefits that support our outreach, accessibility, and community engagement. They're valuable for us to use because it expands the reach across multiple demographics. We have multi-channel marketing that reinforces visibility. Every activity guide can be found in every City of Wichita facility. Evolve can be found in select local businesses throughout the metro. And each guide is found on its own website, whether it's golfwichita.com or wichita.gov/parkandrec or gpnc.org. You'll be able to find them there digitally. One of the other things that we do with Evolve is we actually have signage in every transit bus with a QR code. So riders can scan the QR code and view through the activity guide as they're riding. So it's just one more way for us to get our programming, our events, all of that in front of riders in transit. It showcases our brand and builds trust. We drive participation and revenue, and it really helps to allow our community to see all of the different offerings that we have in our department. The guide serves as a comprehensive showcase and opportunities to get active, learn, and connect. So this is the summer cover, which Park and Rec is featured on. We actually began the Evolve Activity Guide in 2020. It's a joint venture with Cultural Arts and Wichita Public Library. And with that joint venture, we purchased registration software called RecTrack that all three of the departments use internally for registrations, point of sale in the facilities. What am I forgetting? Anything else? That's pretty much the gist of it right there. And then we rotate the cover and the back cover each quarter. So you'll see, I think it's by Wednesday, this new summer guide will be distributed to all city facilities and out to the public. It is online right now as class registration is open. Park and Rec does pay for all of the printing of the guides, all of the marketing, and all of the distribution. Golf Wichita guide, this one's fun. This was kind of designed after the Park and Rec activity guide. And that's something I wanted to mention too. Our Park and Rec activity guide actually goes back to the 1970s. We started with newspaper inserts, and then we went to a booklet, and we went back to the newspaper insert, and then in the 90s came back to a booklet style and have stayed with that all along. And that guide can actually range anywhere from 54 to 68 pages, depending on the course. So with Golf Wichita, we modeled that after the Park and Rec activity guide, and that began in 2015. It's a great resource to have in the clubhouses because there is so much that Golf Wichita does at each course, but also as a division that it allows the team, especially the part-time staff behind the counter, to provide that programming information to the customers when they get asked about it. It's also a great tool. Jesse's able to leverage it with donation requests. So when people say, hey, could we get 4 rounds of golf and a couple cards for our fundraiser? We'd be happy to do that if you could hand out our activity guide to all of your participants in your event, you know, so it's a great way to leverage those requests. And then it's also an excellent training tool for new employees. You'd be amazed how many times you start a season, you go through the 3 to 6 months with part-time staff, and then you don't see them for a while because golf is seasonal, and then they come back and you really retrain all over again. So having this guide for Golf Wichita is a huge training tool. And then we've got the Great Plains Nature Center guide. Oh gosh, darn it, copy and paste is not my friend. Okay, so ignore these bullet points because those do not pertain to GPNC. This one actually started in 2022. Amanda Alessi came to the marketing team and said, what can I do to really get my information out there to the public? And we said, hey, you know what? everybody's got an activity guide, why don't you get one? This makes so much sense. And we were able to make this very versatile for her because they were handing out a printed map of the facility. So what we did was we combined that with the activity guide that educates people about this environmental educational facility. And the back cover is actually a map of the grounds and gives people directional guidance throughout the property. And we also rolled this out on Kansas Day in January every year. That's how we roll it out. We have the celebration of Kansas Day. And so 2022 was the first one. And we always do a media release and bring the media out and have a huge celebration. They usually see anywhere between 300 to 500 people just that day celebrating Kansas. So it's pretty cool. And activity guide overview, like I mentioned, they're distributed quarterly for Evolve and then annually for GPNC and Golf Wichita. That is actually done by the Watson Park staff. And then the Evolve activity guide is distributed to local businesses by a third-party vendor. We track all of the guides that are left over each quarter or at the end of the year, and we reduce the number printed for the upcoming year based on what we're seeing with the trends, or we increase the number. So we're being very cost effective with that. Because we all know everyone has that cell phone in their hand where they can easily go through and look at stuff, or they can get online. So we don't want to saturate print pieces out in the community if it's not necessary. So this helps increase program visibility, participation, and community engagement. And I thought this was fun to show you the first of each of the guides. The Evolve one, that is the first cover that Park and Rec had when we launched Evolve. And that's actually one of our fitness instructors over at Brewer. And then in the middle, this one isn't the very first one. This is the second one, but I cannot help but put Steve Lasky out in front of everybody any chance I get. So this is our second one there. And then the Great Plains Nature Center, that is actually Amanda Alessi's youngest daughter. And I think it's just the most gorgeous cover ever. I love it. So, Sam, for any questions about our activity guides?
Thank you. Reggie, do you want to go or do you want to?
Let Jesse go and it gets kind of wrapped up with the interview, don't mind.
Let's do it.
Sorry. Mouse died, my bad. Yours was just so good, those covers.
All right, good afternoon. I'll go through the numbers. We've been extremely busy. Before we start, this past weekend, of course, the weather has been amazing for the last 5 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, those 3 days alone, we did over $100,000. I don't think that we've ever done that. And that's not any membership. That's just what was done at the golf course. So we're chipping away from the January, February. That was not good, but we're chipping pretty quickly. So I'll go. These numbers, of course, go through the end of April. Do not include anything from this month, which has been fantastic. But
You want some help?
no, the cursor is like this.
Let's pull it here.
Well, of course, before you. I was. Clubs, but. To say I
You
go.
press escape on the keyboard, let's take it out of whatever it's in right now.
It's kind of a networking.
That's one of the reasons I used to work in a chamber and I was like, I gotta figure out how to hit this thing and get them out of these things. So,
Oh, there you are.
and I left.
Yay.
Okay. I do golf courses, not PowerPoint. All right, so year to date, through the end of April, we are, for total rounds, we're about 10,000 down. Again, that's all from January and February. So we're not gonna catch up on rounds because we were so busy last year. So rounds, we're gonna be behind just because of that. You can't create more rounds than what exists. So I'm not too worried about this. I'm worried about the way that we capture the other streams that we have while people are at our facility. So our April rounds, we were a little bit down. We did have some decent rain in April, luckily. We needed it. So we're down about 1,500 rounds. Cart rentals, we're slowly chipping away at that. We are about 24,000 down from last year, which is every month we're getting a little bit closer to catching up. Food and beverage, we are at 143 for the year. We were at 160 last year, but if you take the first 2 months out, we're up by like 19,000, I believe, over March and April. So pretty happy with where that's going. The driving range is another quick story. Saturday, I went to Auburn, and the tee box it's 103 yards from end to end, not feet, yards. There were people lined up all 103 yards with people waiting for a spot to open on Saturday. I went out just to see how the grass was looking. There's no grass left because it took 8 million shots on Saturday. So we are going to start on the 27th, where the project's going to start to put 20 mats. They're going to put the concrete down. It'll take about 10 days to cure, and then they'll put the mats. So we're going to add 20 mats just for that reason, to give the grass a break when we need to, so we can keep better conditions. We're going to do the same at Tex after we finish that project. The driving ranges, even though we didn't really have any business first 2 months, we're pretty much dead even with last year. Merchandise sales are down a little bit. That number is going to be skewed a little bit this year with the turnover at Auburn. We basically did a fire sale to get rid of a bunch of the stuff that we had left over last year. So we were selling a lot of stuff because we were trying to just push it out the door. So I'm pretty happy with all of this. Total revenue, we're 143,000 behind last year at this point. Before April, I think we were like 168 down. So when it's slow progress this month, we're going to probably cut that in half, I think. So if not more. So very happy with the way we're catching back up. The court conditions, I want to really give a kudos to the staff. The MAC right now, all the courses last year, we all know they struggled with the winter kill and the fairway issues that we had. MAC right now, I'm getting nothing but compliments. The fairways look great. Everything's coming together perfectly out there. Tex looks great. The irrigation project at Sim should be done in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It looks good right now, but that's going to open up a ton of possibility for us to improve. And then at Auburn, I spent half the morning there doing kind of a ride around with Dalton and identifying different projects that we're going to do on the course. The course looks great. There's some areas in between. That's a big property with a lot of small sections of grass. So as his staff continues to build, we're going to tackle all those projects and really. The course is good. We need to look at the beautification of the property. So that's our focus there. Really anticipate really good things over the next few weeks. Our project fund balances we haven't really spent a lot in the project funds since the last time, so they're pretty well the same. Not a lot of changes there. We are going to do the grounds fund. We are going to spend about 30,000 at Auburn doing that project. Not everything else is coming out of the general fund, so this should remain untouched over the next month probably. I wish everyone was here, so I wanted to invite everyone and remind everyone that this coming Saturday we have Golfer Appreciation Day. I put together a mess of logos here. We've been working extremely hard to partner with some of the different businesses in town to bring them out on Saturday. We're going to have made the map today. It's going to be very busy out there. We have a food truck, rice house. We've got a full 5-piece band. We're having a big stage set up. It's a free concert, giving away a TV, giving away an iPod. We've got all these vendors. I can't say this, Tanganyika, however you say that. I never can get that word out. They're going to bring a sloth, a porcupine, they're going to be walking around the range. Free ice cream truck. It's going to be a lot going on, and it's all free. Just a way to say thanks to everyone, and basically just have a big celebration and thank everyone for all the support and all the business that we're doing right now. So I definitely want to invite all of you to attend. Hope to see you there. But with that, I'll answer any questions you might have.
Yes. Awesome. Exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Gary, you're up, sir.
on your own for slides.
Brought my water cup up here today, this morning, my voice just, so I don't know how long I'm gonna last. You working on your?
No, you were gonna
All right.
load your own,
Look,
sorry.
Let's see. I don't even see it anymore.
Alex, does the pad on your laptop not work?
Huh? It's my laptop connected to it.
Oh, you have,
I just have a wireless mouse that usually works to it, but it's for whatever reason,
It's just-
neither are working.
maybe that one's too far away from the,
Usually it works.
Want to go with this? All right. All right, so as long as my voice holds out, and I'm not gonna read everything, but forestry, we're very busy in forestry. It has, we've been very blessed at not having major storms, let's say it simply, major storms. Trying to fall them under. I'm not encouraging Mother Nature to blast us, but we've been very blessed to not have anything standing our way. So we're making a lot of good progress, both from a internal work side and then also the contracted work that we have in forestry. That's going well. So the work that we've done and then the work that we plan to do, it's all pretty standard, but there's a lot of it. So we remain very, very busy in forestry. Construction, special projects. This is where I'm not going to read everything, but we install, we replace, we paint, we remove, and a lot of that in a lot of different places. There's benches, there's windows to be installed, there's graffiti to be removed, there's painting to happen, signs to be installed, that kind of thing. And there's not very many people on this crew, and they do a huge amount of work, and we're very, very thankful to have them. So this is continued accomplishments for March, April, and I think we missed changed in March to April. That's okay. There was one of the things I wanted to touch on was the removing the graffiti from Breathworth Park, Friendship Park, and Orchard Park, and that made me remember that we have a lot of graffiti down at the Keeper, and we've been working with Public Works to be able to devise a plan to remove it, because the people that are putting the graffiti there are risking their necks to do it. When we have to go remove it, we have to do so safely. So there's not a tie off, there's not an anchor point, there's not anything, there's no fall arrest. So we are working with Public Works to develop ways and systems in order to be able to get to the graffiti, remove it, and then have a system where we can move forward with that removal in a faster way. So if you hear of graffiti at the Keeper, we know about it, we're working on it, but we have to behave and operate in a safe manner. I wish the people that put it there would operate in a safe manner. That means it wouldn't be there, but we don't get everything we want, right? A lot of different support for a lot of different. One of the things we provided was the speed bleachers for the cricket field at Dr. Clinton Day Park. They requested some bleachers out there. That was the only set that we could move and still be in compliance with the structural aspect of the bleachers. So we put that out there for them. They've been very pleased with that. We provided the showmobile for the Easter run and then the cultural extravaganza as well. That's a hard word to say. And then we've partnered also with the aquatics division, so an interdepartmental partnership with them to help stripe some parking lots, which is a mutual benefit for all the park system plus the pools. And the striping just looks fantastic. So we're really appreciative of Anthony for doing that work. Lots of things scheduled for May in the special projects. Again, graffiti is a big one that we have to take on that really interrupts all the other things that we do. And as long as weather holds, we'll be doing a lot of concrete work and a lot of installations, including the fabric for the Murphy Dog Park, South Lake shelters, that kind of thing. Park maintenance. We ran out of winter, so we are moving from the winter list to the retained services work that is normal, so mowing, refuse, that kind of thing. And so athletics are starting that. Athletics crews are keeping the fields up to snuff with dragging, with mowing, and irrigating when necessary. We've had some very beneficial rains, as mentioned earlier. We did ribbon cutting at Cannon Rooster this morning. That went well. The park looked really good today. So I was very pleased with that. Knox weed crews did a lot of spraying. We've had some favorable weather for that. If I can make this work, this is a couple of videos, short videos. Garvey Park was another one of the parks that had been the center of attention for a lot of the unhoused. And so we worked with PD as they hosted camps. We cleaned them up. There were many tens of tons of debris hauled away from that place. One of the things that made the park so attractive is the invasive species of underbrush vegetation. It was just very thick. So where we could get to, we used our forestry mower to chew it up. I don't know that I would like the word masticate, but that's what it is, vegetation management. But you chew it up, you make the brush into basically mulch. But then that's the initial land clearing activity. So this okay, so you can see that little piece of machinery can clear a lot of brush really quickly. I think that in about a 6.5 hour workday, roughly 3 acres were cleared, and we worked down there for multiple days. So we cleared a lot of acres of underbrush, very undesirable species of plants. We're not talking hurting the overall tree canopy. And you could even see in the foreground there was a tree that was left because it was a desirable species. So this isn't just a blatant take everything. We actually do look out for the trees we want to leave. And so those trees that we want to leave will even be able to grow better because they don't have the competition. But it isn't just destroy the land, it is also restoration. This is an operation of a cedar. Feel like my voice is going, but that piece of machinery is putting back prairie grass type seed mix. So go in, we chew everything up, we go back in, we seed where we can so that we will have an open, inviting park experience for anyone using the path. Just when I walked through it, the level of vision that I had was greatly expanded. I felt much safer walking along the path because it was open and I could see around the corner and that kind of thing. So a lot of improvement there in Garvey Park. I'm really happy with that. Refuse and itinerary camp cleanup crew, they've been very busy. Garvey Park was one of them. Sim Park, you probably heard about that cleanup from the park part of it, but then we also had a unique challenge of having camps out in the actual river. And so that requires special equipment and special planning because we can't disturb the bed of the river without permits. And so we had to go through a lot of brainstorming and some creativity and some creative problem solving, but we got it done. One of the things we found at Garvey Park was this big 48-inch diameter pipe that had been left there since probably the 90s from some project that was done. No one wanted to claim it. We had that removed. We used a contractor to do that. But they had the machinery to come in, cut it into 3 sections and haul it out with very limited disruption to the property. So that was a fantastic thing to get that out of there, and it had been primarily used as shelter. Also, another thing at Garvey Park, it's been a focus lately. Earlier on in last month, we had it was an environmental disaster, so it was. Somebody had stolen a crate of gear lube and for whatever reason dumped it out of the back of their truck in Garvey Park. So we had a petroleum product spilled. So we went through the steps necessary to get a remediation company to come in, do a site cleanup, do site restoration, and mitigate that environmental problem. So we've been busy.
Do we know who did that, or it's just?
No, I don't remember exactly if we reported it to the police or we found out it because the police were already involved. Either way, there's a case number. So PD it's in their hands. But
Reported it to the police.
do what?
We reported it.
We reported it to the police. Okay. I've slept since then, and
Almost reported it to us. We reported it to police, fire, and public works.
great. Okay.
It can't be cheap to clean this up, that's why I say that, so.
Oh, it is not cheap. But we actually were very surprised that it wasn't more expensive. I think we got it done for under okay. So, and the site was so well restored, you didn't know that happened by looking at it. So they did a great job, the contractor did. I believe that is it. I will stand for any questions for maintenance. As long as my voice is out.
How many of the parks like that have a dumpster or trash cans? I know a number of the larger ones do. I mean, like,
I don't know the number of, like,
I wouldn't expect.
no, I don't know the exact number of dumpsters that we have that are like the large 3 to 10 yard. Off the top of my head, I don't know the number.
Do we have a
But I know
standard?
that it's more than 10,
Yeah.
but it's not 122. So.
I was down at the canoe launch on Saturday, and there's a big pile of trash bags and other stuff. And I was thinking, this is far enough away. Somebody came and just threw the stuff out right down there.
Well, it doesn't have to be far away. I have pictures in my email from today, from Glenday, from Plainview, and I get reports regularly from Kiwanis that does have a dumpster, and where there's for our friends that bring us and gift us tires, usually are kind enough to leave them beside the dumpster. But it is the policy of the contractor that if they can see tires in the dumpster, they don't dump it. So we have to go in and dumpster dive to get the tires out before they will come back and dump the trash. So thankfully,
more often than not, they gift us tires to the side. But then we have to go and haul them off. But yeah, it doesn't have to be far away. It's every neighborhood. And, the vast majority of tonnage that we haul out of parks with our refuse trucks is home trash. It's not, we had a picnic and we're throwing it in the poly cart. It's trash bags.
I want to put stress on your voice, but there's another question is about the water treatment plant and the water, the test water that's going out of there. How much of that are we getting or is being used, recycled?
Reggie, you might be able to answer that better.
So we are actually working with Botanica now, where they're actually working on putting together an irrigation system where they can use some of the retained water to actually plant the gardens there on site. The challenge that we have with being able to use it at other locations is just the manpower we're gathering that water and taking out to the other sites. But it is something that we're actively looking at ways that we can use it. But the first one is working with Botanica.
And when we utilize water, we'll pull it from the water treatment facility at Herman Hill. And so that is non-potable water. It gets diverted and released into the river because it's clean enough to be able to do so. But we have improved that system and that retrieval system this year. I say we as an organization, not we as park. But we've made that a better and more available resource. So that's a good thing for us.
And we also, Public Works, Gary Jansen, his team has made it available for contractors who want to come and use some of that water there. They can fill out a permit and then go claim that water from that site to use out for their projects that they have as well. So that discourages them from watering outside of what the plan is for it. And also there, if you're actually using well water, there's a sign that you can actually post at your sites to say this is being watered by well water. So it lets the community know that even though you're not watering once a week, you're following the guidelines that are in place.
Thank you. Reggie, you're up, sir. We got communication update, we got recreation, you're a busy guy.
Good. Well, first I want to say, honored to be transitioning into the role as a park director on a full-time basis. I have a great team that's here that I work with, excited about what we're doing to move forward. And one of the first things that we work with is with HR and our Parks Management Division is addressing our culture. That's important to me that we have a work environment where people come in where they feel that they can be productive and do the things that they need to do to be able to deliver good services to the community. So we started last month with initiating monthly roundtables that we're doing with HR and the different user groups where they can have an opportunity to come out and say what are some of the challenges that we're seeing in the workplace and how we can work in the environment so that we can be more productive. So we have our second round of those starting on this Friday. That's going to be something that we're going to do monthly with different divisions throughout the department. So that way we can continue to look at ways that we can get better and improve. And when we're better, we'll be able to provide better services to the community. So we're excited about that. In the process, currently, Jose Alejo had mentioned earlier about moving forward with hiring for my previous position. So one of the things we recognize is that we have a lot of good talent internally. And we talk a lot about succession planning and what we can do for people who have been here and done a really good job. And we had several candidates that were internal that we thought would be able to fill in their role well. So we decided to post that position internally. We just finished the initial reviews for that, and we'll be scheduling interviews coming up here soon. So we can start moving forward with that process, and we'll be reaching out to the park board and a representative on that process as we move forward. And I think one of the things that's important for us as we grow and we deliver services that people have to feel as though there's a path for upward mobility when they're doing good work. And this is an opportunity to be able to do that. We recently had another position that we just filled at Brewer Community Center that's currently under construction that will be opening up in September. We did decide to do a national search for that particular position. We had 66 candidates that applied from 12 different states and narrowed it down to the top 9 people, and we interviewed the top 3. And we had a person internally that rose to the top, and that's going to be transitioning over to that role. So Alicia Cardi Harrison that's been down in the Plainview community doing great work for us there. She has over 20 years in the profession, was in the California area for 18 years before transitioning here, and she's going to take on that role. And we're in the process now of interviewing, getting ready to prepare for interviews to replace her position. And I was intentional about that as well because it's an opportunity for someone with our assistant rec position to get someone who may be newer in the field to have an opportunity to come in and learn and grow. So that way we give an opportunity for growth and development, but we also bring in new talent. So that's an opportunity to do that. And we have roughly about 9 candidates that we're going to be looking at moving forward with interviews from there to see how we move forward. Is that the correct number, Katie? What do we end up landing with? We had 9 and we ended up with 4 that we're going to move forward with the interview process. So we're excited about that. I think we have some good candidates that will come in and do some good work for us as well. So kind of leading to the summer, busy time for us in the rec side where we're preparing for our summer camps that's going to be opening up. Our flag football season this year had our largest numbers that we've had in the program, with over 600 young people that are in the program for this spring. We just opened up the youth football for registration. And if you guys aren't aware, we are partnering with the school district and doing something where we're aligning with the high schools for the junior football program through a donation from Councilman Johnson in District 1 with some of the remaining Hyatt funds. We're able to offer scholarships for those young people for the first 400 to register to participate in the program at no cost. It will cover their registration fee as well as their uniforms. And they're required to pay a $25 deposit, which will in turn be used towards their equipment. And we're partnering with Play It Again Sports, which gives us some options for both new and used equipment. So those young people who may not be able to afford to get new equipment can get quality used equipment that's going to be safe for them to actually play. So we're excited about that and continue that relationship with the school district as we move forward. One other big thing that we had, I'm sure you guys probably remember Daniel Sack, who was with our athletic team, had an opportunity to transition out, and we just recently hired another young man, Kelly Holman, who joined us and was previously with the YMCA. So he's on board preparing for that, and he's helping along with Mickey, who's our athletic director for planning for the summer. We are doing something we haven't done in the last few years, is that we're going to be hosting USSSA softball tournaments again. We haven't hosted those probably in the last 3 or 4 years. And we'll be starting that back up again this summer down at South Lakes. We'll be hosting a total of 4 tournaments. 3 of them will be in partnership with the representatives from USSSA, and 1 we will be hosting ourselves individually and looking to grow that. And that's significant for us because on a typical weekend for one of those tournaments, we see $40,000 to $50,000 in revenue for one tournament that comes in. And when we hosted previously, we were only able to accept cash. And we've transitioned to where we actually have credit card terminals there on site. So that'll be something that we anticipate that we'll see increased numbers there. It's kind of a point of reference from our regular league play, little tournaments and things that we see there. We've probably seen a 40 to 50% increase in just revenue from concessions for having that capability. Excited about that and continue to grow that. Probably other big thing that's coming up that you guys will be involved with as we get close along is we're in the process of having out for our park master plan. That is closing on the 23rd of this month. We had the pre-bid conference and questions, and we had, I think, 12 vendors that logged in that was there for it, and we followed up with questions, and Katie's taking the lead on that. And we're looking forward to get that in and start looking at what we're gonna do as far as giving us direction as we move with the next 10 to 15 years, what the park system looks like. And a major component of that is going to be community engagement and making sure that we get a lot of feedback from the community on what they want to see and how we leverage our assets and what we need to do compared to industry standards to make sure we're providing services that are equivalent to our peers and meeting the needs of the community. So I'm excited about those things. Just a few of the things that are kind of happening, and there's quite a few different things that are there filling in, and hopefully we'll have some new team members on board by this time next month to fill in some of those roles now that are currently vacant.
Reggie, with the master plan, is there gonna be an opportunity for the park board to be involved with the review process of the RFPs?
We actually have a proposed list of different organizations that will have representation on it at a time. Initially, I know Katie is managing that process, but Park Board, Park Foundation, City Council, we're gonna have legal, Parks Department representatives there, purchasing department as well. And then we're looking at ways that we can engage the school district and other people that will be using or be able to have some of those people who will be users of our park as well. So as we get further along, we'll be reaching out and seeing who those representatives will be for each of those organizations that will help kind of determine the direction we're going.
And can you remind me, what's the timeline for the master planning process? The goal is to be done with it by December, or?
So it's our proposals are due on the 23rd. And then we'll start the reviewing process from there on who that potential vendor will be. Then once we have that selection on it, they will kind of guide what that looks like as far as the time frame on making sure that they meet the requirements of the document. So we don't want it to be something that's going to be rushed through. We want to make sure that it's well thought out and planned. And we're asking for a minimum of 6 community engagement things, and that's kind of representative of each of the districts. So we have an opportunity to go where people are to be able to make it as accessible as possible for them to give feedback. So those are the major things that's coming up with the department, and I can't say it enough that we have a great team, and through this entire process, once it started, that they haven't stopped moving forward to make sure we provide good quality programs to the community. They've been extremely supportive in the transition. I think we have a lot of good work ahead of us and a good team to do it.
So Reggie? Well, I guess we'll go to President's update. I don't have anything, Nate. I guess, would you be able to send us a list of like all of the boards and stuff that we have a seat on? Like, I know we have the sustainability, Botanica, the Park Foundation, the Golf Advisory Committee. I don't know what else, but like, I know with there's a vacancy right now with the Park Foundation. I don't know if there's other boards, I guess, but I figured we should.
No, I think I'm supposed to do that for this month.
We don't have enough people.
I
anyway.
appreciate the
Doesn't matter.
reminder.
You're good. I meant to email you anyway.
Oh, no. Yeah, definitely. I'll look into that, see what other, those kind of non-voting sort of positions.
Then I guess if you all want to run again, we need to let you know before the next meeting, right? If we want to.
That's best. The bylaws also so you can make nominations at the meeting, which is what we do a lot of times. It runs to the wire. But yeah, sooner the better.
Kind of ahead though, right?
Yeah, I know. Hey, yeah, I'm trying to stop that.
So Tom, if you want to be the president,
Turn this down so many times over.
All right.
I think things are fine the way they are.
Yes. So you want to keep it, we can run it, I mean, you don't have until January, I guess, so we can, if you're interested in running, and if our friends are missing board members aren't here on a run, we just, gotta let you know before the June meeting. Is that right?
Well, yeah, or
We could nominate.
that day.
Yeah.
If, we have some missing, then we can kind of force it on people.
Okay. Just
Practically how it's worked out a couple times.
I don't have anything else from outside of that. Reggie, anything else? Any other updates?
No, that's where we're going.
Then I guess we're adjourned and we'll vote next time for stuff. Thank you.
email you this list like I've been doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is why we can't have nice things.
Go
You
ahead
know,
and validate your parking.
went down that
Oh,
road.
well, yeah, maybe. I don't even have that. I really wanted
Happened
to
and
understand. I guess I'm supposed to be new on this.
especially.
So, yeah, Paulsine.
Yes,
Paul
it is
Seaman.
Paulsine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, indeed.
that's how I was saying it, but I also didn't know how it should have been.
And we got.
That's all right.
So I sent you a few emails and I know Shanita writes it.
Shanita's the only one that I've
So
communicated
We
with.
definitely got a lot of.
used the call for the,
Think
the email.
kind of paused it a little bit
My class is the
because.
one.
Yes, that's the one I sent you.
The city manager's office had concern.
I even put Shanita on this.
We're not able to. Connect to our property and I'm like, well.
Sorry. What if we did it and we did it in partnership with the foundation and it was like, this is why we can't have nice things? You know, if you know who this, if this is your cousin, tell them to stop, right? But also, you know, you
This
can
was the
help
email
Parks Department
I sent you.
by donating to the Park Foundation. You know what I'm saying?
I like that, yeah.
Because then, you know, people have
Apologies, I'll
anger.
happly resend it. I know
Mad,
iCloud is
you
a
know,
little
more
funky
than-
about stuff sometimes.
No, not at all. That's why I have, that one is, that's the one I get it. All the rest of them.
Okay. So, apologies, hi, I'm Alex, I'm the clerk. Nice to meet you.
Can you
Um,
Recognize the face.
But nice to meet
you.
you. I need to
We're
thank you for
excited
all you're
about you
doing.
moving forward, so.
Yes, very sorry. I would have happily had you sat down.
No,
I
that's
just,
all right.
when I didn't hear anything, I kind of was
Like, it
just
could
like,
be a
okay.
benefit to the Park Foundation.
Because in the email I sent you,
Let's
I
go
was just
back
like,
to
hey,
benefit.
with the short notice,
See, they're
more
down,
than
let's go back into the
comfortable
park.
with counting this as like, don't worry about it, we'll introduce you. The next one, because you had such little time,
If
and
it
it
isn't
was, you
publicly
know,
shaming,
the whole
it's fine,
nine yards.
right? But it's like,
I just want to make sure that I'm doing what meets your expectations
Which
and
is
so
a
we can
record.
proceed.
So there, for this one
Right.
specifically,
Yeah, and,
there
uh,
were just because you had like
that-
5 days by the time you kind of got introduced and everything. Did you get the video, did you get all of Shanita's stuff done? So you had the two videos to watch.
Yes.
And then the,
yes.
Whatever
sworn in.
Shanita sent
No,
me,
I like
the
that.
swearing part was
because
what I
think,
was
I
misunderstanding.
okay. So the swear in part, you can either do it, we can do it at next month's meeting, so she can come down and swear.
That's
in.
how I understood it.
You can do it that way. You can record yourself physically swearing in and do that promptly. Just record it and send it to her.
It's a
Or
part.
You, me,
It's
and
not
her
like
would
a-
be on a Teams meeting.
Sure.
I would just
Manufacturing
officially be
facility
like
or prison or
the
some crazy, yeah.
person, witness.
That over to crime.
And it would just, all three of us be on a Teams meeting where we would just swear in and be a decent
But
person.
that's
and not
something-
Abuse your position.
Yes.
And so those are kind of the three options. We're more than happy to do it any of the ways. And then you would just have a spot on our kind of
to the
official
Parks
agenda every
Foundation
month. where
about
We would just
that.
give
Together.
Wichita Park Foundation updates, if there are any updates, if there aren't any.
I mean, it does work.
I know.
That would just
Because
kind of go on.
We just gotta have the call to action,
Right, sounds like getting the swearing in.
doing was saying like, you see a
So
crime,
it would be
report a crime.
Microsoft Teams for us. I would totally go ahead and set the calendar updates, all of that stuff.
Cards.
I don't have one on me, but I do have one and I would happily go ahead and the.
We can actually,
Yeah.
just do.
I'll shoot you his email address.
That's fine too.
Rita can come down and do it at the next meeting. She would be more than happy to do that.
That's totally fine. What's yours?
My email is A and then
It came up several times.
Uh-oh, what am I doing?
you're good. Nope, that's totally fine. Do you want me to write it down? That'd be easier.
Oh, yeah, like
So it's A and then Gallop, Gallop as in Peter, Gallop like a horse. Yep.
Oh, I love Wendy.
At
Yeah,
Wichita.
Wendy's the truth too.
As well as Sam with WSU Tech. I don't know if you know him. He does.
And then
Sam, what's the last
your
name?
email, it is
His last name.
BRAN
And then another lady.
DONPAULSEEN@icloud.com, right?
Yeah.
That one?
It's in your name as well.
Oh, shit. Who is that?
I don't remember her name. She's on the Botanica board as well.
Then I had also emailed you just the bylaws, just so you had them.
For us looking at like education programming.
Sure.
Leo would be perfect to go to, see if they have any funding to help support this.
Ooh, we might actually.
Here, I'll totally go
Um,
ahead and count it towards your attendance.
So one of our
I'm so sorry to waste your time.
initiatives,
I did just go ahead and forward that to you when we're.
26 is gonna be,
But yeah, they'll always be the second Mondays. I'll go ahead
So,
and attach you
I think what I
to all
can
of the
do is-
official emails. I'll add you to the.
shoot me an email.
I'll do all of that fun stuff.
With Chris Powell.
I just didn't want to kind of
COO. So
overwhelm and overload you.
It's
You know,
good and bad,
we're
but
kind
like,
of reaching out and
one of
setting
the
all
things
this
that we've
stuff
done
up,
is committed our dollars long-term.
especially since it was so close to the actual monthly.
Organization, so like the amount of dollars that we can give every year.
And with it kind of, not really having.
The
any
amount of money that
influence or
we're giving
anything
is still
this month,
big,
I didn't.
but we just
think it-
don't.
So there, I
Don't
just
have
got
much.
that from you.
Somebody, I forgot the
Of
phrase that
course.
they use, but like,
Because
we
that's
don't
how it
have as
works.
much, like, just
Okay.
extend,
I have been,
grant dollars.
Good.
We changed the model.
I have been
Know that
really
we
looking out
have dollars dedicated to our initiative.
Sure.
And next year should be adult education. So if you shoot me an email,
All of those attachments should have come
Sorry,
through with it, and
workforce,
if they
they call it
didn't,
workforce.
I'll happily go ahead and.
but
read
it's
it.
adult education.
That's
I'll
what
go
we're.
ahead.
You emailed with Nicole before.
Yes, Nicole Brown.
You haven't met face to face.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Me too.
Yes.
Hands on skill so that way they can transition for when they leave.
Now, I can do loans.
Yeah.
I manage loans from our end. So if y'all want to take a loan and pay it back,
So
but I know
sorry.
that's not necessarily our best option.
Fine.
But I think if I can connect you with Chris Powers, like, he should be able to give you a better runway of like, hey, here's when we need this invite.
so,
Which
I'm,
more than likely is
I
like,
do too many things.
September, but I'm
What
doing.
What give you a recap?
I said, whatever you.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Before you got elected,
So that once we hit.
think I need to be somewhere, I will absolutely.
Yeah.
Money will have.
So that's the reason why
I
I'm
did connect,
trying to
our new
get all
director
these kinds of
now.
emails to go to the iCloud,
Uh,
not my professional emails, any of them.
she runs a nonprofit.
It's too much. Try to keep everything segmented. That's file.
Startups.
This one.
Moved here from Detroit.
Shanita was who I was.
She's got dollars and stuff on. She's looking for a program.
No harm, no foul,
No,
right?
nope.
Send you her information too. I don't know if
To
she
be
ever
honest
reached out
with you,
back to her,
with it being.
but I know Ingrid had
5 days
followed up, so
before, it
I'll
was
send you
one
her
of those
information, but
things
she's
where
super excited about,
I didn't expect you to
doing
come.
stuff.
It
Like
was.
she got.
Yeah.
It
No,
was, it was,
if I make a
now, once
commitment-
again, if it was 4 weeks before and I heard nothing from you and I reached out multiple times.
Have you, did Shanita connect that I had spoken with her?
No, so the last I checked in with her, I checked in with her on Thursday and I was like,
For
have you?
the canine part.
Got nothing.
Rooster?
Canine Rooster was today.
Okay, cool. I was like, I knew it was coming up.
She was like, okay. And then I,
How was that?
my responsibility.
We had a good turnout
on this
Our
stuff,
friends there
so
are,
I know anything.
yeah. She, I was like, she better have been there, cause she's,
Reaching back out.
I was more concerned not about me being there, but about her.
She was.
Okay.
So, we have the one Country Acres on Wednesday.
Or if anything has changed, please let me know.
Okay,
So.
is that a Sunday?
But yeah, they're every second Monday. We'll send you all the information, probably either tomorrow.
Yes, I wanna think.
I send everything out the Wednesday
Is the,
Can you send, or do you guys have a calendar?
Park
Can you
board.
just-
I can send it to you. I can send
before we
it.
have park board.
Cool. I might not be able to
I'm
make this, one,
always
but the
open
Fourth of
if
June.
you
I
ever
should try.
want
I'd be
anybody
there.
to come. to
Okay.
work.
That's cool.
We're excited about it. A lot of good work.
Is Phil going to that?
What's that?
The Fourth of June one? Will Phil be there?
Get her done.
Philip?
And always feel free to.
We'll be there as well. I know that Councilman Johnson has it on the schedule. I mean, the whole is on. I'll follow up with him. We'll make sure you have it on his.
Way I can-
Well, it's
I
that.
carry two phones and the other one is.
Appreciate it, Reggie.
All right, thank you, guys.
Or-
Yeah, if you shoot me an email, I'll connect you with,
Shanita's come down multiple times to do the swear in. It takes her
This way we can just
2 or 3 minutes.
knock it off. These guys don't have to wait through another agenda item.
She won't wait. If she's in here and she sees you, she'll go over, do it. She'll see it. It'll be on the minutes. It constitutes, so it doesn't take any more of your personal time. So
I was trying
it's
to
really your.
take their time. Thank you. I really appreciate your help. Very good to meet you. I'm Brandon, by the way.
Brandon?
Yes.
Alejo. Nice to meet
Leo, very good to meet you. So we'll get connected next time.
Doug, hi.
Yeah, I'll make sure, I'll check on it. I thought I had got it. Everything can go. Thank you. Look forward to having you on board.
Oh, he's the one.
You haven't replied to.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Shut up anyways.
Out of planting season.
Well, apparently he hadn't gotten any of the stuff I sent him.
It's just for people to move forward with the
He looks super familiar.
programming.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well,
You go.
Thank you. Huh, I feel like I've seen his face somewhere.
Oh, I feel like I need to apologize to Tom. I didn't mean to call him out.
You're fine.
I'll see what we are.
Oh,
See you.
Can I bother you while you clean?
Oh,
up?
wait.
I'll even help you clean.
Oh, you don't have to. But yes, you can always bother me. What's up?
I had a question, and you might not be the right person, that's okay, you can tell me. But I was curious, there has to be a list somewhere, of like Park and Rec owned parks and then parks.
Mhm.
I'm just curious, because I've heard that that this exists,
Okay,
or managed, I guess. I don't know.
okay.
But yeah.
So
And I looked online and couldn't find it.
I know typically anytime I ask, I'm referred to the GIS site and just told to kind of look it up.
Okay.
Like by park, whenever I need to know about a specific park. I don't know that a list or an updated list exists.
Okay.
Just because of how frequently kind of stuff gets turned over.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'm familiar with the GIS and stuff, so if it's
Yeah.
there, I can definitely do that. I need to
So,
think about that. So-
I can see if somebody can pull a list for me. I can send an email and ask that if somebody wouldn't mind pulling a list for me, especially if you just want like that specific of information, right? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like,
Yeah.
anything super crazy. Like if you just want like parks, park board owned versus city owned.
Yes, yeah.
I could definitely see about doing that.
Okay, yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, I would happily give you my email, or you have my email.
I do, yeah.
So yeah, if you would just send me an email, only because
Oh, no.
I'll probably
If it's-
remember,
If it's
but-
not written down, it doesn't exist. Like my calendar is crazy. Like-
Well, I'm usually pretty good at remembering stuff, but knowing my luck, 27 people are gonna need a million important things between now and then, and I'm gonna feel terrible, especially because you're so kind and understanding, right? So if you'll just send me an email asking that, it'll be super easy to get specifically what you want formatted in a way that like our GIS person will understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would love to go ahead and get you that information.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course.
You have a good day.
You too.
Thanks.
Enjoy the sun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I should probably stop recording. My bad.